Good morning, world. Yeah, this is the right phone. Okay, yeah. I got one phone that I use. All right, this phone right here. You know, I don't really call my stuff YouTube channels. I don't really know how to edit or anything like that. Honestly, this channel, this phone right here, this channel, I actually, I think I got like 4 or 5 people that like watch this stuff. And that's cool because I don't know. This is like the stuff I talk about on here is weird. You know what I mean? I know it is. It's actually stuff that's hard to talk about. To be honest, this is for like the 1% in the world. And it's very, the people like I've never even met. The 1%ers. Chances are. You might be one. I don't know. People that experience well, I've always just looked at myself as like I just live in hell. All right, to be honest, I just always looked at it like I don't have, when I post my mom stuff about my mom stuff. Why I do that? It's just because this is basically my. This is my testimony. I had like God. I felt like God basically. I'm isolated up here. Very isolated. Very, I'm a lacrosse or whatever. I, pretty cut off from the world, But I was, I'm like, but I'm a freak, man. I have abilities and stuff, and, sometimes I felt, it wasn't like audible, but, God kind of basically told me that, he'd like the world to know who I am, you know what I mean? And, I don't know, sometimes I think I'm like, as crazy as it is, I'm prophetic. I'm a prophet, I talk to God, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not bullshitting. I talk to God. Like, God communicates to me. And, God does miracles and stuff with me. And, a lot of stuff, I experience, and there's a lot of activity in the supernatural around me. It's just how it is. Like, even last night, hear that, that's why, like I said, this is basically a testimony. This channel is my testimony, starting whenever I started, back on my drug days, I mean, shit, if you ever look at the videos, I was like, looking shittier than I do right now. I'm pretty shitty. I'm in rough shape right now. My mom is like, got me at the end of my rope. I'm a pretty tough, positive guy, and she's got me pretty worn out. I'm pretty beat up. I haven't slept in 2 days. And just, and it's like, people wouldn't believe it. It's like, kind of like my dog ate my homework. I try to say, oh, my mom, did this or whatever. I tell people, how come you haven't slept in 2 days? My mom's been keeping me up. People wouldn't believe you. And they laugh, I'm not lying. It's fucking true, man. Like, people, I remember Nick Peters, a guy I used to, I'm not supposed to use names, but used to be like, when I wasn't showing up to work, I was coming in like 2 hours late. I wasn't sleeping and stuff. And, right after Dad died. Because when my dad was alive, he dealt with this. I didn't deal with it. It wasn't any. I had to hear some shit. I'd hear some arguing or whatever. I'd slam my fucking bedroom door, and that wasn't my problem. I'd see the cops here, but I didn't go out and talk to them. Or all that shit. I'd give Dad a ride to go fucking pick up the Jeep when she destroyed it. Or fucking, I'd go give Dad a ride to go pick up the truck and impound because she got impounded. Or stuff like that. But for the most part, I didn't deal with it. I wasn't, nothing to do with me, man. I was fucking, my mom to me was just a crazy lady that lived in the fucking house. That's all, Me and him were like dudes that lived on a farm, and we did this. It used to be me and see how I'm out here doing this. It used to be like this, but it was better because it was me and my dad at one time. Now it kind of sucks because I'm so fucking, fucking lonely, you know. I'm just, you know, I'm fucking cut off from the world. I have nobody to talk to. The only person I talk to is Satan. You know what I mean? And it's like we don't. Oh, it sucks. You know what I mean? Like I said, but yeah, she's still somebody to talk to. It's better than like she's always saying how I wish she would die, and I don't. You know, shit. I just fucking argued. Sorry, excuse me. I just argued with her for 4 days because I was telling her she needs to quit smoking because she can't breathe. I'm like, you know, I'm watching her. I'm watching her try to take a drag of a cigarette with an inhaler, a cigarette in one hand and an inhaler in the other, and she looks like she's about to throw up because she can't get the drag down. And I'm just like, that's disgusting. And then she got so mad at me because I told her that's disgusting. Like I'm grossed out. It's grossed out. It grosses me out, you know. She's a nasty person, you know. And it's like that's fucking disgusting to me. And you know, she throws you know, starts crying and you think I know I'm disgusting. Like you are disgusting. You're gross. That's like a guy that fucking keeps. That's like I don't care if you were a man. I'm gonna tell you, you're fucking disgusting. That's like the person that has a hole in her throat and keeps smoking through the hole in her throat. You know what I mean? It's like, it's to me, or the guy that, I remember seeing a guy that was so drunk that he's throwing up and then he keeps drinking. You know, I thought that was fucking disgusting. You know, like me, I'm not a clean. She thinks I'm OCD and I'm not. I'm a freaking slob. I'm a messy guy, to be honest. I'm just not as slob. I'm just not as nasty as her, you know. I actually wish I was cleaner. You know, like me. You know, I've never really had any. You know, I've been single my whole life. And one character I do look for in a woman is a cleanly woman. I like pretty women. I like clean women. I like the opposite of me, honestly. I wouldn't mind a girl that tells me to take my shoes off at the door. It would not bother me if she's cleaning the house and stuff like that. I knew a couple women in my life that were like that. You know, some were older, you know, friends' moms or whatever. And man, I was impressed by them. You know, some women are very impressive to me. You know, my aunt was like that, and or another lady that worked for my dad here. You know, was like that. Fucking go getter, man. Some women are go getters. You know. Forgive me, God, forgive me, Mom. You know, my mom is just a spoiled brat. You know, she was what happened with my mom is she started smoking pot, and she didn't smoke cigarettes or weed or anything until about 8-9 years ago. All of a sudden, there was a lady that was working here that grew pot, and my mom got her hands on some and just became a freaking full out fucking pothead. Like my dad always used to tell her, you know, that because she used to bitch to my dad, because my dad was an emotionless fucking monster. All right. Between the two of them, they were vicious, dude. It was a fucking shit show. You know, I don't know which one was worse. My dad was worse. And then finally, you know what happened to my dad is my dad got fucking karma, almost, I think, you know. And I think my dad got his karma for, you know. At first, when she started acting nuts, I also actually used to laugh. Like, well, that's what you get, Dad, you know, because my dad was a mean person where, like, picture a narcissist. My dad was a narcissist, control freak, perfectionist, in a way. Like, everything had to be his way. Like, I was treated like a kid till I was 40 fucking years old, you know, till my dad died. Till my dad died, he treated me like I was like a kid, you know what I mean? And I didn't really care. It didn't bother me. But yeah, no, he, you know, like some people used to like say, you know, he used to get real mean or whatever, and I'd be telling people, they're like, whoa, he's probably trying to get you out of the house. I'm like, get me out of the house. Fucker wouldn't let me leave if I wanted to, you know? It wasn't like that. It's like even around here, like me, I need another guy around here, to be honest. That's how farms are, you know? It's not like that. It's not. No, my dad, if I left, he would have had to find somebody else to fucking talk shit about, you know what I mean? That's how it was, you know. I used to ignore him. I used to purposely piss him off too, though, you know. And but yeah, what he would, He was the kind of guy where say you like the ballet, all right? Say you like the ballet, and he knew you liked the ballet. He would talk shit about the ballet, all right? Or if your grandfather was an educated man or something like that, he would literally talk shit about your grandfather and maybe not talk shit about him, but like start, say your grandfather was a Wall Street Journal worker or something like that. He would start talking shit about those kind of people, and he just knew how to stick it in your side and turn it. And he would say stuff with like a hiss on his tongue, like a hiss, I would go in there and grab that fucking, that's how he talked, like I would do this. And I remember he used to talk, the last couple of years he was talking, I'd be going for a ride with him and I didn't even want to go. Let's go take a ride and go get this, feed or some kind of chemical for the plants. And it'd be like, I don't want to go in. Whole way there, I'd have to listen to this miserable man, like just mean. Everything was mean, just nasty. And, when I was a kid, I actually tried, because he was tough. He was tough, man. He was tough, and he was strong. He was an impressive man. He was an impressive man. I mean, he was a well-respected guy, and if you had his respect, if he respected you, you were like, I gotta say, I can say, man, it was like that guy liked you. It was like you could pat yourself on the back if that guy gave you respect. Not gonna lie, he was a tough fucking animal, dude. He was he was one of them giant man, but he was like built like Sylvester Stallone and Rocky. He was like that, dude. He was, he had like bowling balls on his arm. He's probably 190 pounds, but 190 pounds, and I can't focus. I gotta learn how to just stick to one thing. But yeah, he was ripped, man. He was ripped. He was strong. He was dangerous. He was, like I say, my dad was strong, mean, and dumb. That's a bad combination. Strong, mean, and dumb. That's the worst kind of guy you ever want to mess with. Strong, mean, and dumb. Those are the most dangerous men I've ever come across. Strong, mean, and dumb guys. Every once in a while, you'll meet like a roofer or something like that in there. That's who they are. You're like, yep, this guy is strong. Hockey players or something like that. The hockey goalie. Strong, mean, and dumb. You know what I mean? But yeah, I learned as I got older in my 30s and stuff. A man that I used to idolize and try to be like, I realized I can't stand this guy. I didn't like that meanness. You know what I mean? It just, this is before I even became a man of God. I just realized that I was like, not into that. I don't know. I realized that treating people horrible, it wasn't my thing. And it was like a cup that I used to try. Hey, Emmy, get over here. This dog plays deaf. Emmy, Miss Emmy, turn it. I'm gonna lose what I was talking about, guys. Sorry. I wish I knew how to make good videos. Emmy, come on, this dog. I know you're not deaf. Oh, what? You didn't see me? You didn't hear me calling you? Get out of here. Yeah, this is Mom. I know Mom had to put all this trash right here instead of putting it where I used to put it because she's got to do everything her way. I know. Sorry, I gotta stop talking like that. Everybody can do their own thing. Of course, I'm the one that has to take care of it. But I just like to put it behind the shed in my pile, and then if I got a chance to go bring it to the dump, I will. But instead, she has to drag it out here. And now I have to try to make it to the dump. Like, I was just looking at it 20 minutes ago going, I need to bring this dump. It's Sunday. Literally, it went through my mind 20 minutes ago. As I was bringing it. Because Well, me, I don't make a lot of trash. I'm like really, really conscious about that. I like buy like, I literally like will not take a bag from a store. You know, they ask me, "You want a bag?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want a bag." I burn all my cardboard. I just try to, I don't go upstairs in the house, so all my trash is pretty. I just took my trash bag out yesterday, and it was one bag, one giant bag, like one of the big bags, and I mean it's like literally full of like cardboard, like just like broken glass or something like that, plates that I fell on the floors. That's it. Just stuff that I couldn't burn or whatever, And my mom literally makes a bag of trash a day, and it's crazy. I don't, I don't know how she does it. A bag of trash at least every other day, How? I don't know. She's one person. Well, she buys something every time I turn around. There's 3-4 boxes at the door of Amazon, and then she just went to the store right now picking up whatever. So yeah, it makes sense. Boxes of cookies, whatever. I don't know. But I just find it amazing that she makes a whole bag of trash every day by herself. Like literally, like I don't use that trash up in the kitchen or anything, and literally I have to empty it every single day. Which is all right. Whatever, it is what it is. That's what happens when you have a house and a family. But yeah, hopefully, I don't know what she's gonna do because I'm looking to buy a house. I was gonna stay. See, the deal was I was gonna stay here forever. That was the deal. That's why I've been here on this farm for 40 years. I was like, just to stay. I was gonna, this was me and my dad's place. This is our place. This is my home. This is where I was born. This is where I live. And now Mom's ready to die. Probably in a couple of years. Within a year, she'll be dead. I hope not. Well, I care less right now. She fucking so. To be honest, forgive me, God, for saying that. She's got me so. It's to the point where I can't. Even if I forgive her, I can't sometimes people go so far where even if like we started gotten along, I can't unsee it. I can't unlive it. I can't unlive what I've been through with her since my dad has died. Since my dad has died, I've been through so much with her that I cannot unlive it. I can't. I don't know if it can be ever repaired. It can't be repaired. It's just too far. She's gone too far. It can't be repaired. And that sucks because this is probably $1 million, $1.5 million fucking piece of land here. And I'm going to lose it all. I wasted 40 years of my life, you know what I mean? Because guarantee you, once fucking... right now, I have lawyers and stuff involved. And that's another thing. I don't talk about this online or whatever. I have lawyers and stuff involved in this place right now. And because, people are grimy, all right? This place was supposed, it was supposed to be just how it is right now. And it was no big secret. I lived here my whole entire life. My brother never said a fucking word. My mom never said a word. My sister never said a peep. All of a sudden, my dad died, and it was just like, well, where's his will? Like, it wasn't like a secret, man. This was like, this is like talked about. Like, they would come up and be like, oh, so what are you going to do? And this and that. It wasn't like, it wasn't like a shocker. It was like, it was just how it was. And all of a sudden, it was just like, yeah, you know what they were doing? They were just keeping their mouths zipped. Smartest, grimiest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Made me, I couldn't believe it. Never saw it coming. Hit me like a ton of bricks. Hit me like a ton of fucking bricks. Like these tractors were just me and Dad's. Fuck, I'm surprised they don't want his fishing poles and everything. And I'm not greedy. What's mine was his and what's his was mine. That's how we were. That's how we always were. Even my sister said it when he first died. He's like, well, that's, my sister's like, I'm like, because you know how it is. My stuff's all intertwined with, she's like, that's the problem. I'm like, she's like they're trying to figure out which machine's mine, which one's Dad's. They're like literally trying to figure out which one's Dad's and which one's mine. They're literally taking machine, like, like, which one's yours? Which, they're trying to, and it was getting pretty bad. And I think they all came to their senses, because what it was is, basically, my mom basically tried to say, "Oh, well, we'll pay you for all your hours you worked on all this shit," and I came up to like $250,000. Fucking, I was like, all right, working on machines for fucking 25 years straight, every day, 7 days a week. You owe me about 250 grand. They're like, "Come on!" I'm like, "No, that's what it is, man." Fucking, that's what it means. I talked to my buddy that owns a fucking shop, and he's like, "Yeah, no." He's like, "At least probably about 350." And I thought so. Yeah, because it was no big secret. It was like, dude, me and Dad be out here working on this shit, and it was just like, like I said, it just be common sense. Like earlier when before my dad became a fucking senile dick, man. If I needed like oil, like say, all right, say the truck needed an oil change. The reason I worked out here was to pay the taxes and stuff. It wasn't a big secret. We were working to pay the taxes. We worked to pay the bills. Taxes are big here and everything. That's why I worked 7 days a week out here too, is because to keep the place alive, and it was no big secret. I should have known something was up when all of a sudden, like a year or two before my dad died, my brother started all of a sudden coming around, and like I'd come over and he'd be like mowing the grass or something like that. And my dad hated it. My dad used to not want him to do that. My dad would be like, "I wish they wouldn't do that," because they'd break stuff, you know what I mean? And my dad, stuff like that. And I'd be the one that's like, "Dad, man, he's just trying to fucking, he's trying to fucking, be a man." And, I used to stick up for him. Like, he's trying to, I thought it was great. I'm like, cool, man. The kid's fucking doing things. Fucking, I had no problem with it. Because my brain don't think like most people. Most people are grimy. Mine isn't. Mine doesn't think that way. My mind never. I was warned by certain people. Like friends or whatever. They're like, "Yeah, man, you're not." I'm like, "Nah." I used to be like, "Nah, man, my family wouldn't do that to me. They would never do that." Like never. My dad died. I realized how fucking grimy people are. I couldn't believe it because money. I've never been a fucking grindball, and money's never like influenced me that bad. Since my dad died, I realized what people will do for money. To me, I was a minimalist at the time. I learned to hate money when I was younger. To be honest, that's one thing that sucks too. Is for years I became a minimalist. I actually despised money for a while. Because my dad was just money. All he talked about was money. And same as my mom. I'd watch my dad eat ramen noodles. The guy's a fucking millionaire. And he's eating ramen noodles for breakfast 7 days a week. Because he doesn't want to spend money. And it was like, that made me sick that made me sick. Shit like that. Frugal, cheap, the cheapness. Not to mention, I'd be out here 7 days a week, like I said. And after a while, it became for money, and I'm like, what the fuck, money? I don't know. I started like to really just be a minimalist, where like, it's not how much you make in life, it's how much you don't spend. It became like that, you know what I mean? And then I really, the only reason I came back into like wanting money and making a name and stuff is because I was kind of wanting to find a woman in life, you know what I mean? I kind of don't want to be single, I've been single my whole life, and all of a sudden when I started thinking about women, I started realizing, shit, no woman's going to want to be with a guy that fucking doesn't make dough, and, it's just not going to work, Even if a woman tells you that I don't care about money or whatever, that's bullshit. It's not true. And not to mention, even if you do find a woman like that, if I love somebody so much, I would never want to fucking, any woman of mine is gonna like, I would feel horrible if I couldn't get them something, that they wanted or something. I you know what I'm saying? I just like, I mean, within a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never want a girl of mine that I've loved to go without, just like her. This lady never went without anything. She sits there, feels sorry for herself. Look at her. driving a truck. That's the third truck I've seen her wreck in 10 years. I mean, it's not wrecked yet, but that will be the third truck I've seen her wreck in 10 years. That one's on its way out. You know, guy bought her. He was gonna buy her. That was his truck, and he was about to buy another one for her. And I was like, "You are nuts." I had to like stop him. Like, Dad, what are you? He's gonna go buy her another Jeep. She used to buy Jeep Liberties. She used to go through them like I go through underwear. Jeeps, cars, all kinds of shit. Oh, she's like a little kid. She's like my mom is like a teenager girl. She's like a teenager. At 7 years old, she's like that's how I would describe her, like a teenager. She's like a teenager. She means well, except for the demons inside her. Except for like a lot of it, she's demonic. A lot of it, she's demonized. Whether you believe in it or not. This place has a fucking demonic, dark energy here. Oh, I gotta go help her carry groceries in because she's gonna watch. This is how she is. Watch, she's gonna try to bring them in herself, but then she's gonna be like pretending she can't walk and stuff. And it's just like a game. It's like she's not all right. She's not right. Here's my hawk. Here's my hawk. Let's go see my hawks. There they are. Check them out. See them dive bombing something. Yo, Bert. Yo, Bert. Caca. See, they're quiet. They don't make any noise like they used to. Hey, Bert. You know what they did? They just see the truck come up the driveway. See how they seen the truck come up the driveway? They're like guard dogs. They see Mom come up. They thought it was me probably. Isn't that fucking cool? I got pet hawks. Yeah, they see Mom come up and they're like, "Hey, Eric's home," but it's not Eric, it's me. They're my dog. Those are my dogs. The other day, yesterday.